And this is the way to always be prepared. It is from Duracell. Absolutely, we know that brand. We trust that brand, always have. And this is tremendous power. We're talking about 1,800 watts of power. So you can charge up and keep running your refrigerators, your TVs, all the big appliances, and then all the other important appliances too. By the way, compatible with all of those solar devices. If you have one, this has got a special Anderson connector point. I'll confirm that with our guest in just a moment. But what I'd love to share, my favorite feature, in addition to the fact you're getting all of the outputs, you've got the ability to put in, let's see, multiple, 3-prong AC outlets, 2.1 amp USB ports, and the LED power light. So you can always know when the unit is on and then charge it in your car if need be. We include at HSN this inverter. This is something you would not get when you purchase this Duracell power station anywhere but HSN. This is another $15 value, no, $30 value. We include that. Elsewhere, you'd have to buy that separately. Elsewhere, this product is gonna be $50 more. So combined savings of $80. We also have this for you with free shipping, which is a massive savings because this isn't a light unit. I will be honest. This isn't one that you're gonna be wanting to move from room to room because it's got so much power and access to that power that if you plug, and this is my favorite feature, if you plugged, say, a refrigerator into this or a CPAP machine into this, if overnight the power went out in your home, there's a magical way that the power will pass through. So always keep whatever device you've got plugged into this operational. You don't even have to think about resetting it, or it will always, that pass through is a wonderful piece of additional technology. Speaking of which, it's a new battery technology, which is of course what Duracell would do. It's Duracell, right? So we're gonna talk more about it. This is very limited. We have about 300 of these to go around. This is the chance to really take a deeper dive with us into what convenience this is gonna provide, and even more importantly, how it can help you in the event of an emergency. And Bill Duggan is joining us to do just that. From his place to yours, welcome, Bill, good to have you.
Hey, glad to be here. You know what I'm also glad? I'm glad I have Duracell. We know that brand, right? It's been around for about 100 years, giving us trusted, reliable power on the go. This category of a power station, it's new. Because guess what? We are going through hurricanes and winter storms and fire season. We need to have something reliable in our house that's not gas powered, that's not able to be used in an apartment or a condo. By having this unit in my house, I can power up the big devices, such as a full-size refrigerator, big screen TV, and don't have to worry about off-gassing, noise, or anything like that. So quick tour of the unit. Does weigh about just under 60 pounds, so the fact that we ship it to you for free, huge savings. You have 4 3-prong AC outlets, 2 USB ports, a 12-volt plug right over here, and a nice large screen so you can see how much charge you have left and what power you're pulling. So it's very user-friendly, very easy to plug and play. There's even a storage compartment up here on the top so you can actually store more cords and cables, which is nice and convenient because you never know where you're going to use this. You might be using it outside. You might be using it at a construction site. You might be using it tailgating or, you know, even for holiday stuff. But more importantly, you're going to have this not just for when you have an emergency, but for when you need additional power. There is your Anderson port for solar connection if you want to totally be off the grid. Your power to plug it into a wall. And you see the red and the black? You can actually connect this to your car battery and instantly have power. Instantly recharge it. Because, you know, sometimes those other units, you can connect it to your car, but you kind of have to wait. You kind of have to wait for it to get recycled up. This will give you that instant power on the go. And more importantly, not all units with this amount of power are alike. They can't do heating elements. They can't do a refrigerator. And more people go out and buy these just to save what's in the refrigerator because we don't know how long the power is going to be out. An hour, 2 hours, 2 days. We want to save, you know, the perishables like the Halloween candy and the ice cream. So you notice, I have no power in my refrigerator. Well, guess what? I have power right here. So I can actually just plug this in and boom, it's that simple. Just by plugging it in, you're going to notice
you have power.
I mean, have power.
Honestly,
I have enough power to power this up.
And that's the most important thing when you think about just saving what's in your refrigerator one time. You've paid for this thing. Most of us have hundreds of dollars in our fridge and our freezer. So that's a really big deal because that's power. This is Duracell, and that's power. It's a name that's been around for 97 years. They do batteries. And this is a powerhouse of a battery that's gonna give you that kind of power. And I'm so glad you corrected me, Bill, because I said 2 based on the 3-prong outlets. There are 4, and that matters. Whether it's your fans, your lights, all the things you need. Yes, hopefully you won't ever deal with an emergency, but of a natural disaster. But you know what? It kind of feels inevitable at some point, whether it's tornadoes or blizzards or hurricanes and floods and mudslides. I mean, it's just a crazy time in the world that we live in. And I think every single home needs to have a backup plan. And I love that this is a backup plan that you can use for enjoyment too. You know, you can take it with you if you want to go camping and have some of the modern conveniences of life. Why not when you're in nature? But my goal in life, Bill, is to one day be able to be off the grid. I don't want to have to rely on a power source that, you know, is supplied by the government. I want to be able to, you know, use the power of my battery in my car to be able to recharge this and constantly have it giving me power. You've got the solar panel option, which is great. I don't believe we have those yet, but it is something that we will have coming down the road. And you can certainly use tell us again about that connecting point for the converter.
Sure, the pass-through. Oh, well, remember, this is
Anderson?
the best value on the unit alone, but then we are including this 12-volt
That's
adapter
right.
for your car for road trip season. Turn that cigarette lighter, that 12-volt, into plugs, USB and 3-prong outlets. So whether you are tailgating or road trip season, it's just a great added value because this is the best value. But remember, we've seen these before, but not with this much power, not with the name brand, and not with this feature in particular. So you see, I have mine actually plugged in, because, you know, I'm keeping it charged. It's great. But, you know, it's a stormy night. The utilities have warned us we might lose power because of a fire coming through. So guess what? I'm going to plug in the refrigerator. Notice the refrigerator has no power. So I'm going to lose everything if I lose power. My sump pump is not going to work. My CPAP's not going to work. I'm going to plug in here.
There it went.
We have power, right? So I can go to bed. I can breathe easy. No pun intended. But watch what happens. I'm going to kill the power. Boom. I've lost power.
But your
But
fridge.
you notice, my ice cream is still good to go, which is important. I'm not losing. My vodka's going to stay chilled. We want that and need that convenience because, you know what? My family's out in California, and I got them one of these because what they do now is they'll turn off the power because it's a windy night. A wind event can be a few days. So you have 3 days with no power. Then they have 72 hours to turn the power back on. So all of a sudden, yes, we might be cycling through a few hours of powering up the refrigerator to keep things chilled. We're doing the dance. I got it for my mom because the one thing she can't live without is her morning cup of coffee. And I looked at the other ones. I'm going to tell you, all the other ones couldn't necessarily actually even power up a coffee maker because those heating elements is important.
Oh, interesting.
So my mom might be dark because there's no lights or overhead lights, but you can still power those up. But she can still get her cup of coffee in the morning. You want to do your hair? It has the power to run the hairdryer when you need to use your hairdryer. Because you have to realize these power stations are becoming more popular because there's more of a need. But they're not created equal in terms of output, in terms of that name brand. And that's where if you give this to someone, they're going to use it for an emergency situation, sure, because you have it. But you can also use it for the fun stuff. Set up an outdoor tailgate, set up an outdoor party, use it for the holiday decorations where you don't have power. Because that's where you're going to have this wherever you need more power.
Absolutely, and our price, it is the best price here. You don't get it somewhere else. Everywhere else is $700. Ours is $50 off of that price. We include that $30 inverter, and we are doing not only flex pay, 5 flex of $130 to get it, and that's all you're committed to with that 4-month extended holiday return policy in effect. We also have VIP financing for HSN card holders. That breaks it down to $54.16 a month. That's so awesome to be able to put that HSN card to use. It gives you another great idea as to why you are a VIP shopper when you use that card with us on bigger purchase items like this. But this is the place and this is the time. This is only, I think we have less than 300 of these to go around. And the truth is, for years and years, up until relatively recently, the only option were those gas-powered generators in your DIY stores that are huge, that smell, that you have to rely on fuel and oil and all the other things. When an emergency happens, the first thing that we lose, normally, aside from power, is gas. I mean, gas is a commodity in the event of an emergency. you don't have to rely on gas for this to be powered up. So yeah, the inverter is great because you can charge it through your car, you can charge it through the wall, you can charge it through your solar panels if you have them by using the standard Anderson connecting point. So it's just a lot of power at your disposal, not just in the event of an emergency. And Bill, I think the most important feature that I love the most on this one is that pass-through, that you never have to think twice about anything that's plugged into this. If you lose power in the house, whatever's plugged into this, it will automatically convert to power to that appliance or to that TV or to that refrigerator or to that CPAP machine or the sump pump like you were saying. That's huge.
That's just it. You left the property because you needed to vacate, but then what about the sump pump? Who's going to turn it on when the power goes out? It's already plugged and going through this. But then there's even the at-home stuff. I live in a building. They were doing repairs. They needed to kill the power. I couldn't get on Wi-Fi. Oh, yeah, I could because I had my own power station. I could recharge my device, keeping, 2 USB ports connected. And having that Wi-Fi signal allowed me to connect to the office, plug in the lights. But more importantly, I was able to turn this into a computer again because I had my Wi-Fi signal. So that's even the mundane day-to-day, but you think about all the other aspects of life, whether we're taking it out to a construction site or it's given to someone who might have those needs. I like the fact that we're getting ready for the holiday season. You can get creative with your haunted house and where you're going to put stuff. The big screen TV, it's those little creature comforts. Sure, can I be without power for a few days? I guess so if I have to be, but more importantly, I can plug in my television. So what's that going to give me? It's going to give me my little bit of entertainment, big screen TV too, which is important because, again, it has that power. And I could also even plug in some lights because that's where all of a sudden we're not in the dark anymore. We have power and convenience. And it's easy. Plug it in. See what your power is like. And remember, we're talking about differences. I want everyone to realize I can plug this into the wall, which is important, but also I can plug it to my car battery. If you have a pair of jumper cables, you can just literally plug it in and use that as a pass-through for instant extra power, which is great. Because day 3, this might be out of juice, but my car is sitting there with power in it. I can connect it. Duracell's thought of a lot. They've made it affordable, and this is truly the best place to pick it up.
Without a doubt. I mean, let's face it, I don't want to be without my ice maker either. Keeping that vodka chilled in the freezer.
I so thought you were going to say ice cream maker.
That too. Bill, thank you so much. I know this was really quick. We have so few to go around. What a great new item from Duracell. Wow.
Right?
Well,
exactly.
When it comes to batteries, I don't think there's any bigger name, right?
No, it's absolutely true. So, yeah.